Hello and welcome to another Nikomedia tutorial. So, in a very short amount of time I got a lot of requests and questions about my last animation I did here. And yeah, this is this one. And now a follower on YouTube made a really kind donation, and thanks again, Jonas. Really nice, I really appreciate it. And asked me if I can make a tutorial soon, so maybe today. And yeah, and I cannot say no because, as I said, he did a kind donation and I have time, so I postponed my dinner a little bit. It's no problem. And yeah, this one, and I have it here in my title bar too. You see, with different effects and so. And this glow effect here I made with the Sapphire plugin in After Effects, but this is possible without third-party plugins in After Effects too. I will show you how this works in After Effects with the native plugins. And the next thing is Jonas asked me to do this in physical render. I made this in Octane render. But in physical render we should get the same, maybe not the same, yeah, almost the same result. Only it takes longer to render, but I don't want to render the whole sequence. I render one still and show you how to make the glow and everything, and so, and of course I show you how to animate everything. This I show, but I don't render it then. And yeah, and if we find time, we will find time at the end. Then I want to show for the Octane people too how to work with the MoGraph shader and everything, and how to export it to After Effects and with the denoiser and everything. Good, so let's start. Yeah, the first thing is the first thing, of course. The first thing is the shape. So Shift F6. So I have this somewhere. Come on, Shift F6 here. This is the original one, and this shape here is the first thing we do. It was not so easy to, yeah, it's easy to get this shape, but not easy to get this shape so that you can make a very nice honeycomb array with it. So I tried it, and I started with, I show you what I did. So start with the cube here, and we know how a cube looks. 100 by 100, give it 4. I do this a little bit faster. I just show you how I tried it, and this does not work. So C and UL here, T, Schwabum, then UL again, doing, doing, doing. You don't have to know what I do here because this is just for example. And here, and bevel deformer just isn't here. Okay, solid 3, and now I have something like this shape, but it's not the same. So this is not what I want, because this I cannot really use this for a honeycomb array. So let's bring this in the cloner. Beep, 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 beep. I want a honeycomb array in Y is okay, and bring this together, so something like this here, something like this, and you see this does not really work. It comes not together. I would have so much to do to make this shorter and this smaller, and this is nothing. And then I had to think, so I took a class of Uso, had drunk it, relaxed, and then I got the idea. I need a waveform thing like, so I delete this, and a waveform has an helix from here. We have a waveform. Okay, and this I make with less radius, this 10 centimeter we remember. And here you see I have this shape I need. And this shape, with this I can make a honeycomb array. So what I do now is, I need not so many, 20 is enough here. Go to uniform, no subdivisions, so this is okay. And C, and we see on the keyboard I convert this. Point mode, and delete the points I don't need. Here and here. So, okay, this is the shape I want. The next step is, yeah, go to here. I want the axis in the middle of this spline, and normally I use the magic center here, but we can do this with the axis center as well. So I go to auto update. You see I have it now in the center, but I want it on the x-axis here, so I go to reps, and this is exactly what I want. Okay, and now I reset PSR. So yeah, and I have everything on this null point here. Good so far. I think I deleted one point too much. So I go back. No. This is the good thing. I have set my things to thousands steps back, so I every time can go back. Sorry for the so point mode. Yeah, this one is too much. So this now is okay. Whoop. This is the correct thing now. Good. And again, whoop, axis center tool. The axis center tool you have, I don't know, mesh, I think. Yeah, here on the mesh, axis center. And auto update. Now I have it in the middle and the x-axis to the left. Okay, reset PSI again, and I have everything in it. Now it's okay. Now I put my helix here in a symmetry object. So I select my helix, and with Alt on the keyboard I hold my Alt key and click on symmetry. So the symmetry becomes a parent, and I have a symmetry here. And we had here the helix at 10 centimeter radius. So I drag my helix 10 centimeter to the right. 10. So this is exactly what I want. Hold your shift key while dragging, so you have these increments here. The default increments are at 10 units. I have it at 5. And if you want to know how to set your own defaults and everything, please watch the tutorial I made some days ago. There I explain everything, how you can make your own toolbars, how you can set your everything, and how you make your own project settings, and. Okay, so this is exactly what I want. And with this now, I can make a honeycomb array. So I go to the symmetry just to show you what I mean. So, and MoGraph, clone up. So I hold my Alt key, so that comes parent. Every time when you hold your Alt key, the thing, the next thing will become a parent from the selected one, and if you hold the Shift key, it becomes a child. So clone up, honeycomb array. Y is okay here. And now, together here, together. And no, this is we have here 40 and 100 is here the correct thing. As you see, we have exactly this waveform I want. This is totally what I want. Okay. So, but we have just one thing. It looks like, oops, come on. It looks like this. So we have to flatten this out, but nothing easier than that. Go to the helix, and here in the size, I just go to 0. And that's it. Now I convert my symmetry object. For this I use the edit optimize script. You will find it in the description. But you can simply click on C and convert it, but then you get a null and blah 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 blah. So I need to take this one, okay. And this is, oops, nope. What's wrong here? I took the wrong one, so now it's a bit. this is now what I get, and now I get in my point mode. You see, okay. It was important what we had, the helix, the points to uniform and to no subdivisions. Then otherwise you would get too many points here. So I go back and show you what I mean. This is better. Okay, doesn't matter. So I have here my helix. You see, uniform and no subdivisions. So. So here everything to 0. Okay. Point mode. I select these 2 points, right click, and here we have join segments. See, nice. And then we have just to close the spline here. Whoop. And you see everything is nice. And now we need a hole in the middle of this thing, because for our sphere here, of course, we need a hole in the middle. So let's go in the top view, and we work with a spline mask, of course. I bring this out of the cloner for the moment. So let's make this hole. I take a N side, because I use later on, I use a subdivision surface. So T for scale, scale it down. Give it some more more 10, 11, come on, 11, 12. 12 is also have something same size here and here, but it doesn't matter. You can take here whatever you want. The size I go to 22 is good. Okay, I put now these two splines in a spline mask. So I create a spline mask, drag in these 2 splines, and now I have 1 spline here, you see. So I go to the spline mask, C on the keyboard, boing, and we have 1 spline. Exactly what I want. And of course this spline we can wonderful extrude. So I select my spline, go to extrude, Alt key. It extrudes in the wrong axis, but it's no problem. You see we have here X, Y, and Z. The Z is of course not the right direction. We need the Y direction, and we have this. Now we need just a little bevel here on the sides, and yeah, that's it. So what I do now is I bring this extrude in a null object. So Alt G. And under the null object I want a bevel deformer, so the bevel works with the extrude. So I select my null, and what I said, with shift click we get a child, so shift click on the bevel, and you see, okay, but you see here, oh, we have a problem. First I want no chamfer, I want a solid, but you see it works just here and not here where I need it. This is no problem. We go to the extrude, because the extrude is not one object at the moment. So we have to go to caps, and here create single object. And now, you see, the bevel works exactly where I want. And it works only here because I have here set use angle to 40%. If I don't have this, it would be everywhere. And this is not what I want, because when I use then, I put the null object in the subdivision surface, you see I had now this checked so that this edge is here. This is not what I want. So I go to my bevel and say use angle, and now I get this nice shape. And see, normally if I need a really nice mesh or something else, I would make here a nice mesh. I would make all quads and everything. But this is not necessary here. We don't see it, we don't need a nice mesh, and when we have it in subdivision, it looks like we took a lot of effort to get this nice this nice mesh. Not just quads and everything, it's great. Exactly what we want. Maybe a little smoother. Yeah, that's what I want. Be careful that you're gonna not too high. Because if you go too high, you see nothing, because when you go too high, these edges will intersect, and so when they intersect, you see nothing else. You go to smaller, you see it, and done, point, point, away. 3 is okay. Good. Next thing, we just have to drag this subdivision surface in the cloner. Of course, we could drag the null object in the cloner and take then the subdivision surface, but this gives us some problems. So I want to show you what I mean. If I drag the null object in the cloner and the cloner in the subdivision surface, it would work. So I can take the cloner, subdivision surface, and you see it works. Okay, nice. But when I want to work a little faster and I want render instances or something else, so when I take the render instances, they don't work in the subdivision surface. So what I do is just break the cloner out of this, bring the null object in the subdivision surface, which works of course too, and then I clone the subdivision surface. Now I have render instances and subdivision surface, and it works wonderful, quick and fast, you see. Nice. So we have a very nice thing. If you think, hey, this should be a little closer here, but see, but I don't think so. But if you want it, if you think this is necessary, go to the spline. You can change this every time. So to the spline, select these two outer points here, room, go back, hit T for scale, and scale it in the directory. See, you can change this now. Yeah, maybe it looks a little better now. Yes, I do it like this. Okay. Good. Let's save this. You see, I saved this before as Light C4T, so save it. Next thing is we need spheres. And of course I could put everything in one cloner, but this is in this case not, because I want to use a plane effector on the spheres for the lighting. And if I would put everything in one cloner, the plane effector would affect the whole cloner, and so I don't want the plane effector on these shapes, so I need a second cloner. So I just copy this cloner and delete everything out of it. Copy is just control on the keyboard, drag it down, and you have a copy of it. Then I make a sphere, a little smaller here for 30, and drag it in the cloner. And this, of course, it is exactly the same position because it's the same cloner. So, and make this sphere a little smaller. T for scale. Okay, bring it a little up here, the sphere. Now I want to bring up, not the sphere, I want to bring up the whole cloner so that we have the effector on the same position like the cloner later. So. Okay. Ah, that looks not bad. Maybe a little higher and the sphere a little smaller. Yeah, but this you can do however you want. I think that looks not bad. Yeah, I like it like this. If you want to save polygons or something else, you can here in the sphere you can even drag in 3 subdivisions, because we have set here render perfect. As long as the sphere is not converted, you can use this render perfect. That means we have this here, but as soon as we render, we get perfect spheres. So it doesn't matter how many subdivisions you get in here. But this is a thing what many people forget. If you have this render perfect on and you work with soft body or something else, so if you have a deformed sphere, let's say the soft body is deformed now, everything looks nice in the viewport, but if you render, you get this perfect thing, of course, because render perfect is on. So when you work with soft body or the deformations or something else, deactivate this render perfect. Okay. So what I want to do is now I want to render, of course, a square render here. So let's go to here. Let's set everything to 720. So by 720, and yeah, that's enough for now. I set these two here to fixed 3. This progressive means it renders all the time until you stop it. So, and fix this, it renders exactly what this amount and then it stops. So I do this just because normally I use the progressive because this is the fastest way to render. But if I render and then I speak and tell you this, till it is, and this renders, this is not necessary. So good. Next thing is we can start with the animation, with the lighting animation and everything. So let's find a nice spot. Let's make more cloner. Select both cloners. So with Control, I can select the second cloner and double this here. So 20 by 20. Okay, looks nice. Find a nice spot. See that the axis is in the middle of this. So this could look nice. So something like this here. Okay, I make a camera, activate the camera, give it a protection deck and save it and hide it from the protection deck here. This is just a little script I made. You will find it in the description of the video. It makes nothing else but just a protection deck, but I was too lazy to every time right click and search for this protection deck. I'm a really lazy guy, believe me. So we have this now. The next step is we need a plane effector. So I go to my cloner, this cloner sphere. I just want to affect the spheres and not the shapes here. And with the cloner selected, I go to the MoGraph, Effector, plane effector, and you see, okay, it does something, but I don't want the plane effector to work with position. I just want color, and not the fields color, I want custom color. And this custom color, I say, take it to black, you see, works, okay. If you don't have the effector in your cloner for any reason, just go to effectors here and drag it in, the same. So we have this now, everything's black and this is not what I want. I want a fall off. Here in R20 we have the fields, but if you have an older version, you can just, instead of the torus field here, you use your torus fall off. This is exactly the same. So, yeah, torus field. And now it should work, but it does not work because we are here in the cloners here on render instances. And if we work with this plane effector, we have to go to instance. Now I see we have something. But this is exactly the wrong direction, so make this a little bigger. So. Because everything what is black, I want white. So go to the plane effector, to the fields. And here we have an invert. You see here this whole thing, we have invert. And in the older versions, you just go to your torus fall off, and there you have such a checkbox here and for invert. So just check this. And come on, where are you? Here, invert. And now I have here my lights and every other thing is not lit. Then the torus I want a little thicker, so something like this. Okay, that looks nice. And more fall off. This is in the remapping here. Oops. Okay, that's nice. So I think this is what I want. And now we have to texture this. And for this we need then the color, the MoGraph shader, the MoGraph color shader, and the same is in Octane then, but I show you then in Octane how it works. First we do it with the physical renderer. Good, make a new material. This is my default material, so this is just a glossy material, nothing else. I don't need color, I just want luminance at the moment. And in the luminance, I put the luminance on my cloner here. And in the luminance, go to the texture, MoGraph, color shader. And you see, that's it. We have everything we need. So make it maybe a little brighter. 200. If you want to work with the brightness, let's see what I go back here and render it here. So. Okay, that looks not really nice, so let's try to render it with the global illumination. Looks nicer. And let's make it brighter here. And you see it does nothing, but you have to go here to multiply. And then you get it. And it already looks quite nice. So, and what I want is this glass look like I have here. So this is I used here a glass. As I said, I rendered this in Octane, and I can make it very shiny too. But it has glass look. And try it here too. But when you go to transparency here now, got everything is transparent, of course, because we have no refraction in here. So let's 1:17. This is glass. Now we should get something. Come on, I said we should get something. Not? Okay. And let's go with the brightness down here. Oh. But it looks still boring. First we need a material for our shapes here. So make another material, and this is just a dark material with the reflectance a little roughness, 10%, and here we have dielectric and pet. That's it. Bring this to the other cloner. Okay, but now we need something what reflects in this whole thing. So, and of course I use my Nikomedias Scene Rig, you know it. You can use a sky with an HDRI on it or something else. You can do it. But I of course use my HDRI rig here, my Scene Rig. And you see, let's go in the camera here. You see, okay, that looks already nice, but I want definitely another HDRI. So I'll make this here. So let's see. Well, let's try this one here. Looks already better. Or something colorful. Maybe something colorful. Let's see what we get here. Okay, this is too bright, but I like the colors. Brightness is no problem. We can first try to go down with the light intensity in the rig. Go to 0 and let's see what we get. Does not really something, but with the reflection brightness, go down to, let's say, -15. Okay, it gets darker. It looks nice, but maybe it's too bright. This is. Take another HDRI. I like the colors, but it's not the best one. Maybe this one here. Yeah, that looks nice too, but yeah, all too bright. So. Yeah, but they're still too bright. Let's take maybe this one here. Yeah, no, now we are talking. Go to 0. Maybe -10. Okay, it starts to look nice for me. We can of course rotate this whole thing and see if we get a nicer spot here. So rotate it. Looks nice. Yeah, of course we can do whatever we want here. But I think I want it like this with no really bright spots, and go here to 0 back. Yeah, this I like more. Looks nice so far, if you ask me. Maybe this bright spot in the middle. I don't know. Let's see, but the HDRI is okay for me. So let's see if we can do here something in the transparency channel. Make it a little darker here. You see, if we play here, we get different. Everything is. You can change so much things here. Maybe give it more. Okay, this is because I'm very dark here. This is maybe even brighter, because we wanted the end a nice glow. Yeah, I think this is nice. Let's make this torus smaller. And this is exactly what I like. This half litten, this no litten, this full litten. This is exactly what I like. Okay, so this is nice. Exactly, this is I want it like this. Let's say, and now let's make this animation. This animation is very easy to do. So let's start with the radius 0. Whoops. So we see nothing. And it's 0, frame 0, 0 centimeter, and make a keyframe. And then we go to frame 100. Or let's say we went up and down, so let's go to frame 50. Make the radius bigger. So until we think, okay, this looks nice. So we don't see it outside. Maybe not totally outside. Outside. Okay, so keyframe. Then to frame 100 and back to 0 and keyframe. So now we have our animation. Nice. Okay, and of course you can do this with everything you want, so you don't have to use the torus here. So let's go out of the camera for this example. I now let's say instead of the torus, so I delete this animation for the moment just to show you what I mean, and make it later, or I make it another effector. I copy this plane effector, plane 1. Don't forget to bring it in the cloners tab here, so plane 1, and I deactivate this one. And here I can now delete this keyframe. If you want to delete the whole keyframes, just hold Control Shift and then click on the point here. So, and then instead of this torus here, let's say I want a box field. Go to the Z-axis, make this, and now we can animate now the rotation here. Let's say, animate the rotation, or animate to make it 45 degrees, and animate it like this. So you can do whatever you want here. The possibilities are endless. So I delete this one. Plane effector, come back. Should work still because yep, okay. And now we're back to the camera. We can make a little depth of field if you want. So let's go to the camera and say, press on this small button here, and now we can use, let's say this should be our focus here. And in the newer versions of Cinema 4D we can use here the depth of field. And if we play now with the physical here and with the f-stop and go down with the f-stop. Let's say the 1 is too less. Let's go to. You see, we get a nice depth of field here. But if you want to render this depth of field, don't forget in the render settings, you have to, in the physical tab, you have to activate the depth of field here. Otherwise, it wouldn't render it. So let's make a high resolution render and let's go with this one. I don't render, as I said, I don't render the whole animation now. I render one frame and show you then the glow effect in After Effects. You can then, of course, render the whole animation and do the same in After Effects. So it's the same procedure. So let's see how long this needs. Let's make it with depth of field. And let's go to the frame where I like it. So something like this maybe. And render it. I don't know how long it renders, but we will see it. That's not so. Could be a little more, a little higher. See, we have a little. This the highest. I could go up here with the blurriness subdivisions, so I don't get this noise here. Of course, this is much faster. Everything with Octane is. But you see, only this is a nice render. You don't need nothing more. This that you have a nice render. But maybe I want some more lights. Yeah, let's go back here and bring the camera to here. I just drag the protection deck down here so you can work with the camera here. So some more lights in the render. Something like this. Okay, and bring it back, the protection deck. Make the camera maybe another. This is now my. See now, this is the focus now. Okay, save this whole thing and render it again. But let's see if I render without depth of field. If we have this noise as well. So disable depth of field and render it. Oh, it's the same noise. I want it a little better, so I can press pause it, and I want depth of field, so we get a really nice render here. Go here to 4, and this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. 4 should make it better. Yeah, it's definitely better. You see difference here. I don't know if you see it in the recording, but it's definitely better. I know the first one is without depth of field. This is, but I see it here, where it is in focus, so that it looks much better. Okay. Yeah, we could go even higher. You see here we have, but for the tutorial, it's good enough, I think. Okay, it's a nice render. I like it. Go to here, see. Okay, this is, I don't have a close-up like this because this is, you see, this is a bigger render, so that's the reason it looks so close. So, maybe we should go a little higher, but for the tutorial I think it's no, it's okay, but we can go, but doesn't matter now. We want to show you more. I want to go now to After Effects. Let's render one without depth of field. Maybe we work with this one. Let's see. because you can do something like depth of field also in After Effects too. You can make a tilt shift effect or something else. You see how nice this looks. This is really great. Yeah, let's make it without depth of field, because we make this glow effect and this blurs everything a little bit. So do not really need the depth of field here, even if I really like it. But when I render just as still, I would go very high with the settings, of course, so that I get a nice thing here. You can in Photoshop, with a still, you can do this in Photoshop. You can get rid of the noise with the noise luminance, noise reduction or something. So yeah, let's work with this one in After Effects. Good, I saved this. I should BSD 16-bit is okay for me. I have here a tester. I overwrite this. I don't know what it is, but test is okay. So, and let's go with this one to After Effects. Okay, here we are in After Effects. Project, let's import this one thing here. This is the whole sequence. Test PSD. Bring it here to the new comp here, so break it here on it. So we have this now. And the only thing we have to do here is, I used for my thing here the Sapphire Lighting Glow, but this is a third-party thing, so that it costs a lot. But let's go to Stylize and to Glow. Okay, I see. We start to glow. What I want is a radius a little bit more. So then I want more intensity. Wow, slow. See, looks so nice. With the threshold, you can bring in these ones too if you want this. You see, you can make it. There's a like little shine here. It looks nice. Okay, but it's just white. This is a little boring now with the original color. So you see, here are the original color, but we have here a B color, and here we have color A and color B. So we can define our own colors. So let's say we want here yellowish, and this looks already much better. And the second one, let's say something violetish, bluish, whatever. Yeah. So you can play with it however you want. So okay. Make it a little more intensity. And it looks great. Looks almost like the glow with the very expensive Sapphire plugins. This looks nice, this half-lit one, I like it. Maybe play a little with the treasure, you see. Okay. You can play with the here with the triangle, you can go A to B or something else, but I like mostly B, A, B. Looks not bad too, but I like most this one. And with the blending modes you can add is the most intensive one, so you can go to screen a little less, overlay. You get nice effects if you play with this. Silhouette Luma is nice, but it's a little so, or you make whatever to get. As I said, you can make nice effects with this too. So. But I stay with it, and we have a nice thing, and you can add this to a whole animation, of course. Maybe here a little more with the threshold. This is, but I like it like this. This is nice. This one I like. A little less. Okay. And yeah, we can do this with a whole animation. But I think I have my original file. Yeah, I have my original files here. I'll show you how it works with an animation. but this is more interesting for the Octane people, because this is done with the denoiser and everything. And yeah, this is now for the physical renders people. And if you wanna bring in a big image sequence, you do it the same way. You just right click, import file, and I have here some sequences. This is EXR, rendered in EXR, but then you have a sequence here, and just import the sequence and then make this compositing. I show it to you, but this is for the physical render people now. And let's close this. Close project, don't save. Now I bring in one with the, because this is interesting. Here I use the denoiser pass and everything. So I bring this sequence in, import. I know I rendered with 25 frames and here it's at 30, so I go to my interpret footage main and set this to 30 to 25. And now make a new composition and drag it here on this icon. And I see nothing because it's the wrong pass. So if you work with passes, you have to go to Effects, 3D channel, Extractor. The extractor is an After Effects thing, so it's just click somewhere here on the red, green, whatever. And here are the layers. You see I have a denoised beauty bus. Okay. Now I have this one. I can go now. I can do the animation here. This is the original one, you see, without plugin. And here exactly we do the same. We go to the glow, stylize, glow, make our glow like whatever we want, radius, intensity, maybe threshold, with your own color. So it's the same now. So let's go to yellow, make a little yellow inside here, purple thing, violet things. Okay, it is now very quick done. You see it. So up here, but this works now, of course, on the whole animation. Here I see what I need. So okay. Yeah, now I want these connections between the lights here. Yeah, now I see you get a very nice glow as well. Okay, that's it. And now let's render this with this one for the Octane people. So I save this because the Patreons €5 and above can download the project file later. So I save this with assets. So this is every time when you give let's say the project to another one, or you send me a project and that I have a look at it or something else, please save as with assets. Otherwise I wouldn't have any textures or something else. So save with asset. Here I'm making it makes a new folder. So this is lights tutorial physical render. Okay, whoops, and this now I have everything in this cloner. So in this I want to show. So this is, you see, this is now lights tutorial physical render, and here I have the text file. This is everything what's in this thing. This is from the Nikomedias Scene Rig. This you wouldn't have as a Patreon because I delete everything what's not necessary. And here is this HDR we will use. Okay, and now let's make it another one. Save project with assets and for Octane. So let's see, lights tutorial Octane. Okay, so now we can delete this. Boing. Camera is okay, but we need an Octane camera. And the focus is okay because the Octane tag uses the same focus here. So okay, so now we just have to work with the plane effector. This is the only important thing here, and it works a little different. So let's make a new material. So first for the Octane dialog, so let's make a new material. I use the specular material. How did I use? I used the blend material here, I think. I don't know now. I think I used the blend material, but I'll make it quick. I use a glossy material here, or no, a specular material. Why not? And open this with the node editor. So, what to do? Bring first, I make another material. So this is this one. Then I make another Octane material. This is just a glossy material for the shapes here. Here I wanna deactivate the depth of field. This disturbs me a little bit. So this is glossy black material, RGB spectrum, and black, and a little roughness. Wing. We don't need this in the Nikomedias Scene Rig here, so I deleted it. Bye bye. Yeah, it deletes. This is a bug. Hey, it deletes every materials here. Every unused materials. And we have, every unused materials it deletes. And we have not used any material here. But it's okay. Unused material should be deleted. Okay. Anyway, so make this new as matter. So new material, one glossy, specular one, and one glossy. So one specular. Specular comes on this one here, and here I want transmission, and to be so. Then I want a medium here. I want the lights. For the medium, I need scatter medium. Here I have an emission for the black body. And here in the texture, I want the MoGraph shader. The MoGraph shader is the same MoGraph shader we used in the physical render, in the texture shader. So let's see what we get here. If we get something, because I think not. At the moment it does nothing. Good. I would love if this would be black, but doesn't matter. It's a little. I did it with a blend material in the original one, but yeah. Anyway, what you need, the difference is, if you do the same with the MoGraph shader in Octane, you have to go to render instance or multi-instance. Instance does not work here, so in the render instance, it should work. Let's do this with an for the example. I do this with the glossy material. And bring this color shader just in the diffuse here. You see, it works. If you don't, if you make it like in the physical render with the instance, it does not work. So render instance or multi-instance works here. So and I make it now with how I did it. In the other one, delete this and make a blend material. I think I did, I cannot really remember, but it doesn't matter. Blend material. It's like a mixed material, but you need just one material, you don't need more materials here. So the first material is add material, is a diffuse material. This has emission here. So for the emission I need black body emission. And here I want to bring in the color shader. Texture, color shader. Bring it to our clone here, and you see we have emission and only there where the color shader works. Let's go with the black body emission here, a little down, 10, something else. Looks good. Oh, this is better. Looks nice. And now for the, we make another material. Normal for the shape, so for the normal shape. Glossy material. I hope it's not too fast what I do here, but it's every time the same, so I think I can do it a little quicker. Flow, roughness, a little bit, something like that. And on our other, let's see, bring it on our other cloner. So nice. We don't even have any HDRI or something else inside here at the moment, but see, it works. And now in the blend material, let's see, this is how the lights, I'm gonna name it lights. So okay, I make another material, so I go to material 2, add material, and this here I make, let's say, a specular material. And now I mix these two materials with a float texture, let's say. This is float and amount. Now you see we get this glossiness here, and this looks more like glass, like the normal glossy. It looks different. Let's bring in just a simple wing HDRI thing here. So HDRI F8 to move. Which one did we use? This one here. Dun. Okay. Nice, that's nice. That's okay. It's a little bright or something. So you see, we have this nice glossy now, but we have to check the render settings. We are on direct lighting. I want path tracing. I have a low path tracing here. And this makes it much nicer. Okay, and this is the same. Now you see how so it worked, the mocap shader. But the mocap shader, the only really important thing is go here to render instance or multi instances. Otherwise it wouldn't work. So many people wrote me, oh, that doesn't work. How do you know how? This is the only thing. So everything works exactly the same. You see, it's no different. So now, of course, we can play now with the we have already this focus. Oh, let's make a new focus. So let's go to the camera, thin lens, deactivate the autofocus, go here to focus and say, let's focus it here. Go up with the picture until I see some. You see? Let's go to 8 that you really see it. So, and yeah, 8 is too much, 6. So I have 500 samples here now, and if I activate now in the camera imager the denoiser, enable denoiser, we have demain. So you see here that, and now is the denoiser. Let's do. It's the focus now. So focus and disable the focus now. And now we have this, and let's see, man, this should see something here. The noiser is enabled. Now you see it. It was not ready, so you see without the noiser and with the noiser. There's a big difference. It's just 500 samples. So this makes sense. And if you wanna render out now something with the denoiser, so let's close this. You have to go to here to the Octane settings, activate. This is the next thing. If you hit here Octane, it does not use the Octane render. Only if this white rectangle is here, then it uses this render. So, but let's go here. So denoise beauty, yes, and enable. Here you can give. Doesn't matter any. Let's make test is okay. I make here underscore and EXR. Okay. And here is important that it works. Otherwise, you get wrong colors in After Effects. You have to go here to tone mapped. That's important. So we have the noise beauty. We have this enabled. We don't need any other bus, and we render out this one test sequence now. It's not a sequence, it's just this one picture, current frame, okay. Render it with the picture viewer. In the picture viewer you have the same layer. You have here now the noise beauty, and if we go to single pass, you see the difference. This is normal, this is with the noiser. Okay, and now we have this. Go back to After Effects, close this whole thing here. Don't save. Bring in this new one, test underscore thing, XR. This was this one, this was frame 17, okay. And import it. And now make a new comp here, and you see we see nothing because it is the wrong path. Now we have to go to Effects, 3D channel, Extractor, click somewhere here, go to the noise beauty, okay, and we have our picture. So you bring this in. Okay, and otherwise if you don't use the tone map thing, you get a very dark picture here, so it's wrong colors. Okay, that's it. So it works for Octane. I hope this was clear so far. And yeah, and get used to the blend material. The blend material is, I love it much more than the mix material, because mix material you have at least 3 materials you need for it. And see here you have every time just one material, and it works exactly like the mix material. Okay, that's it. Yeah, and this one, so I save it. You can download, if you have Octane, you can and you're a Patreon, you can download this project file, of course, too. The link is in the description. Everything you need is in the description. Yeah, so I say thank you for watching, and this is it for now. The next tutorial will come as soon as I find time, of course. And thanks again to Jonas for the donation. Really very, very kind and really appreciate it. So yeah, that's it. If you have questions, if you have requests, if you have complaints, please write me in the comments, on my Facebook group, on my Facebook site, on my website, email, write me a letter, whatever you want. And yeah, you can ask me almost everything. I try to answer everything. So if you don't know why your shoe hurts, ask me, maybe I know it. And so yeah, that's it. I wish you a nice evening. So here at least it's evening, and now I will have my dinner. And I say thanks for watching again, and best regards here from Vienna, and hope you are with me in my next tutorial. And so, tschüss und baba.